What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Raptor Spiritus, and I am back with another one. I am trying a new recording method. I'm actually using a program called OBS that was recommended to me by SC, and I downloaded a couple things for like noise suppression because on my desk I have my laptop, which overheats really easily. So I have a fan on it. I can't remember what the basically what the cold plate is called, but it works really well, but it's really loud. So this is actually new for me because I know in the background you still hear like a lot of air noise, but hopefully this will just isolate my voice and make it a lot easier to hear me. So today I'm just going to go over a couple of um, notes that were dropped. And Super Mac Brother is going over it. I'm just gonna just kind of comment on the video. This makes the fifth time I'm trying to do this. Another program that I was using called Split. Usually, whenever I have myself in the camera view, it has crashed on me 3 times while I was trying to make this video. So I'm trying to do something else now. So we're gonna go this route and see what we can do. So first up, he's gonna be talking about the 600i. So we're just gonna kind of go through and check it out together, and then figure out and comment on what's going on. All right, let's go.
First question, it is, when is the 600i rework happening? So essentially they say there is no change since we last saw the updated concept images. That is still the plan, but it is not on the rolling 12 to 18 month schedule at this time. When they do
Dang.
start working on it, it will only be changes to its interior, filling out the wasted space, like giving the Explorer module a medbed and a cargo bay big enough to hold an overtonk.
Okay, let's stop right there. First of all, it's getting a med bed and it can carry a Nova tank. Yo, like that is huge for the 600i. I'm gonna need that rework to go to the front because that's what the like. I mean, I like the 600i, but it never really was really. I don't want to say it wasn't worth it, but it just really didn't serve any purpose, really. Um, like I love the exterior. It's just like I said, the interior was kind of a lot of wasted space, you know. So the fact that they have a rework where the cargo can hold a Nova tank and there's a med bed. Oh, I'm gonna need that rework to come to light ASAP. That is awesome. They need to stop working on all these new ships that nobody asked for quite yet, and they need to hook that up. Come on, CIG, y'all can do better. You know, it's not even on the 12 to 18 month schedule. Come on, man. And the excuse, I'm sure it's gonna be because it works, so that's why they don't do it.
The reason is that it's not in the works right now is that the ship functions fine, so it is not a priority versus other ships that have more detrimental
No,
problems.
absolutely
They
not.
did also say that they would like to polish up the Origin ships as a whole, plus they haven't done a new Origin ship for a while, so we should expect some new ships in the future, but I don't think there's any actually planned at this time. Next question, how many existing ships need upgrading
Yo,
before engineering can be
like,
released?
look at this waterfall. Yo, like this is Origin all the way. Like Origin is like the Maybach. It's like the Rolls Royce of Star Citizen. And you see this? If this is the concept art that they're trying to bring to the 600i, they better bring that same interior scheme to the 890 and the 400. It has to have these elements. Like, look at this. It's super cool. Like, they playing too much. They playing too much. This is would change everything. You know, imagine the top upper deck looking like this, and in the lower deck you have a Nova tank chilling in there. Like, yo, that's awesome, dude. Come on, CIG. I don't even like it, but I'm gonna tell you what. Once that interior rework happens, I don't know. There might be some stuff, something getting switched, something getting sold. I don't know. I mean, nah, I don't know. I don't know. They're like that's really nice. All right, well, let's move on. Let's move on before I start rambling. All right, here we go.
In the future, but I don't think there's any actually planned at this time. Next question, how many existing ships need upgrading before engineering can be released? Now, they say they are at the point now where ships are pretty much ready for engineering. all the ships support it as they are now. And for those that don't have the physical or accessible components, like the single-seater ships, for example, they have a fallback method by way of just using the MFDs and being able to repair and manage the components that are damaged. For the full engineering experience, like fixing and replacing components by hand, changing fuses, putting out fires, messing with the engineering screens and so on, they are pretty much through the list of ships that need to use this, with well over...
Hold up. Sorry, I had to cut y'all off because I'm eating. Constellation, Cutlass series. They don't have components yet. So you're just gonna get an MFD for a substitution and no components? I think that's a little... No. I think CIG needs to move those things to the front because those are pre-existing ships. You want them to be standard, bring them up to standard, you know. So yeah, no. That I don't think that's an acceptable thing, but that's just my opinion. I say worry about what's actually here, and what's on the backlog first. You know, like I love the fact they said they're not going to sell concept ships anymore, which they shouldn't. But this is ridiculous. Like there are so many ships that need to be brought up to standard, and they're just kind of like dragging their feet on other things. So I mean, I'm not a developer. I know they're doing a lot, and I'm gonna tell you right now, CIG, I appreciate you. You guys are doing fabulous work. I mean, this game is like no other. I don't give a crap what someone says about No Man's Sky or Elite Dangerous. This game is different. This is like this game is superb, and I know it's a work in progress, but man, you know these backlog ships and these ships that are here that are not getting the attention they deserve. I feel some type of way about. So moving right along, we're gonna jump into this tab right here. So he was talking about the Aurora getting a gold standard. Now, first of all, my personal opinion is that this ship needs a complete rework because this does not look like a RSI ship at all. The design language for RSI does not reflect this whatsoever. They've a couple patches back, a few years ago, you guys remember where they were talking about each manufacturer having its own personality and having its own design language. MISC is MISC. You can't miss MISC no matter what you do. Argo is Argo. You can't miss it. Drake is Drake. Duct tape and scotch tape and some rope and stuff. It's Drake. RSI is the space Dorito, as everybody wants to call it. And this does not reflect it at all. Instead of trying to bring this to Go standard, they really did to take this like X this thing and and just rework it completely because this thing's pretty old school and not up to snuff in my opinion. Next thing they're talking about the Zeus ST that was dropped by accident is what they say. But here's the thing, right? It's by accident, but they're saying they're not bringing it up because there is a game loop that's not available for us. So what is that? I want to know. I'm like, at least give me that. Like, let me know what the game loop is. Like I think I'd like to know. But then that brings me into my next thing, right? The Zeus marquee. They didn't bring this because people were saying because they were waiting for version 2 of bounty hunting. Okay, well, I hate to tell you, but there's a lot of bounty hunting ships that are in the game right now that don't do anything except bounty hunt ships, like blow them up, which is what it is right now. That Zeus marquee, with the EMP, with the quantum entangler, the ship can be used. Bring the ship out. There's no reason for it not to be here. The fact that they say there's no gameplay loop for it, I'm gonna tell you where there's no gameplay loop for. I'm just gonna skip over, and right here,
Apollo Triage and Medivac, and both of these ships are releasing next month, so September. Plus, they are coming with the 6 modules available for free straight out of the gate, regardless of whether you own it now or you buy it when it launches, which is great news. I am an owner, and I am very happy to see this. Drones are not coming with the Apollo. Drones will release for the first time with base building, but I will speak more about this later on in the video.
Okay, so the drone aspect, which is supposed to be the thing that makes the Apollo, is not coming with the Apollo. So where's the gameplay loop for this thing? Nobody? Like, seriously. So when they're holding back ships like the Zeus Marquis, but bringing ships like this out that have no gameplay loop, it's just a glorified, med bed on, multi med bed, hotel. I mean, I know people have been waiting for it. It's been backlogged, and that's the way it should be. But it goes back to what I'm saying again. The Zeus Marquis, there's no reason why it shouldn't be out. Zero. They're talking about waiting for gameplay loops. This has no gameplay loop really. It doesn't even the med beds don't even work. Just like for the Zeus Marquis, the cryo tubes don't work. So this was okay, but it's not okay for the Zeus Marquis. And I apologize. I'm a Zeus Marquis owner, so when it didn't come out with the other two, I felt some type of way about that, and I still do. Again, it's not my game. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be here waiting for it till I wither away and die. But at the end of the day, I really would have loved to see it earlier. So then we get into the next thing that is on the same level of the Apollo and why they're not releasing it. Because just like the Apollo, there's a part of it that's not being utilized because they haven't got it working yet. So basically, they want to release the ironclad when they can separate the command module from the ship and then reattach it, at will, right? So at first they said during CitizenCon they weren't going to do this, where you could just separate it, use it as a ship, and then you were not really supposed to come back for it. But now they're saying you can attach it, reattach it, detach it, reattach it. So apparently this was a thing that the Caterpillar was supposed to have first, and it never did. Years and years and years, never happened. So now they're holding this thing up because they want to include it with the fact that it can separate. And if you watch this video, Superback went back and said, he could care less about that. He can, just like anything else, bring it later, just like the Apollo. No drones for the Apollo. But they're still releasing it. Release the ship. It doesn't need to be detached. It's cool, but it doesn't. People want the ship for the entirety, not because it has a detachable module. I can tell you that much. So, I don't agree with the fact that they're holding out for that. But that's just my opinion. We'll just, again, these are all my own opinions. Everybody, I always want to hear what you guys think. You guys may disagree, which is cool. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I really would have liked them to have because this could have been out by IAE for sure. Now they're talking about not bringing it out for till next year. And it's just no reason why it shouldn't be out when it's just if that's the only thing they're waiting on. So, just my opinion again. Then the next thing, this one's pretty cool. I like this section right here. It's talking about backup shields. So we're gonna watch it real quick.
Single large shield as they consume more power but perform worse. Now they say they are currently in a bit of an in-between stage of the current system and the upcoming engineering system. With engineering, there will be a large change to how shields and, well, all components function really, as every component will be getting rebalanced for this system. All the values and the stats and specs that we see now will not be the same when engineering drops. And if you have a ship with more than 2 shields, you will only ever be able to use 2 at any given time, so the others will act as backup, powering up if the original 2 get disabled. So when it comes...
So, again, sorry, I'm eating. I don't want y'all to say it. So, I like this. This is cool. Basically, it's like talking about making sure the ship has redundancies, backup generators and whatnot. Shields drop or the ships get destroyed. You'll get maybe have a smaller shield generator that will be like a backup. So it's like a emergency shield generator. So you can have some bit of protections. Last little line of defense little Hail Mary so you can escape. I like that. I think that that's a super great idea. Um, so I'm definitely for this one. That if that's what's going to happen, CIG, you getting that's thumbs up. That's super dope. Moving right along. Um, Medium Argo salvage. So there, when it comes to salvaging, there's the vulture, and then it's straight to the reclaimer. So there's nothing in between. Like mining, there is the mole, then there is the Rasta, and then there is the Orion. So there's literally a tier ship for mining for every tier. Like I said, they got starter. They have the next one up, which will be the prospect, then the mole, the Rasta, and then the Orion. When it comes to salvaging, we don't have a starter salvager. We have two next level up, which are the Fortune and the Vulture. And then there's nothing in between, and then it's just straight up uh the Reclaimer. So, and what he was talking about, which I think this is a great idea, letting Argo take that one, for them having a salvager that's Argo based in between the Vulture and the Reclaimer. I think that is a cool idea. I would be down for that. I do salvaging, so I would definitely consider um, going to that if that was a possibility. Moving right along, backlog ships. They're talking about the Endeavor, talking about a lot of these ships like that just don't have gameplay. Again, I think the Orion has gameplay. The Halos out there, there's plenty of stuff to mine, shoot. There's places, the things to mine in Pyro. It's the gameplay is there. Release the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like it's there. So some of the other ones like the Liberator. I mean, it carries ships, so you can carry ships between Pyro um and Stanton. Doing military ops. It's a thing. So um it kind of has a purpose, really. But I'll be honest, the Banu Merchantman, I'm still kind of like figuring out like how this is gonna work with training. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, there's a lot of orcs out there that that get a lot of guns, armor, and components. They go out, they're out there grinding, getting everything they can from a lot of these big missions, and they sell them to people. That would be good for them. Like the Banu Merchantman, that is what it is for. Those orgs could be out there flying around, opening up shop, hey, making extra money off of stuff. Like, let's be real. So, I mean, because they're doing that already on their interests and stuff, so why not? Uh, but that's not even going to be, I think, until like 2027, which is it's so crazy. Like that is so crazy that everything's so far out. It's just, in my opinion, it's just dirty that CIG sold some people something, and they are still refusing to put it as a priority, and it's been this long. Like that's crazy. But again, I'm not a developer. I'm not there. I just that's just my opinion. Um, so moving right along, this is talking about the Raylan. They're talking about like the whole thing with the cargo in the back, that they are not going to try to make these little triangle cargos just to suit the ship, which I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I'm sure they'll make something using regular cargo that they have. I mean, it was cool, but really, it would be just such a hassle to even try to do that. So I don't blame them on that. I think doing the regular square ones in this particular order, where it has like the two on the sides in the middle, two below it, and there's one below that, and then going down the spine, there's a trail of them, and then you just do the regular boxes, do 32 SCU boxes, and you're golden. So um, I think that's very feasible. I think people understand. People will be okay with it not having these little triangle joints. Um, Kruger ships. This one I thought was a good section because this first of all, let's be real. When they did this Kruger Wolf, this thing came out swinging, right? It is a beautiful design. Now, yes, we all know it reminds you of a fighter from a place far, far away. Episode one. Um, but they were talking about making more ships, you know, Kruger style, which reflects that. I would love to see from the episode two at the beginning that big ship that the queen came in that blew up because they were trying to assassinate her. I would love to see that style of ship for Kruger. Like that would be such a dope medium ship to fly in. Like I would have to probably buy that. It looks so cool. Um, so I would love to see more. I definitely want to see more Kruger ships that medium size and larger. I think that would be super cool. Carry pods, they're getting better. When they get them to drop down, it'll be really cool. And then of course the modular portion was the thing that a lot of people were waiting for. But just to have them just the bays come down and then open up would be so great for Carrick owners. And then PDCs and Ironclad, don't care if we have them or not. I'm okay with that. Ship entry and exit speed. Now this was a little interesting section because they were talking about getting in your seat. Now I can say for experience, like getting into the Prowler utility, you get in. If anyone's gotten into the Prowler, the seat pulls up, and then it has an animation where you're slowly grabbing the yoke and then putting your hand on the throttle, and then it's ready. I'm like, wow, that takes forever. If you're trying to escape somewhere, you're getting lit up. So they were talking about in this post that they were going to do like a slow, medium, and fast speed to get in your seat. Do away with all that. Just make the animation quick. It doesn't have to be like this long drawn out thing. You're getting into your cockpit. Make it quick. Just speed it up a little bit. No problem there. Because I prefer to be a little bit faster because again, if you're getting lit up and your animation is taking 5 seconds to do, that's 5 seconds you're getting pulverized. So that I'm definitely for faster speed. Burning management, we talked about that. Dedicated tool racks. Now I would like to see in this tab talk about being in when you're in your ship and in the cargo hold having racks for tools like the grav gun and rifle or the multi-tool and the grav rifle. Oh, absolutely. I think that makes just logical sense to have that, So I'm here for it. This one I thought was cool. This thing, I am here for it. Like this is I like little small vehicles and stuff. This reminds me of being on a military installation and the soldiers driving around the compound, making sure everything's copacetic. Like I like this. I can see this in this would do really well in the distribution centers or any big facilities that they might bring soon. Even like some of the ASD or the Lazarus areas, maybe like those big areas. But they make stuff with like drivable paths through. Like this thing would be awesome, and this thing would fit in everything. Because I think the STV fit inside the Spirit A1 that I have. This is no bigger than, I think it's actually smaller than that. This would be a perfect fit for that ship. So I still have a ground vehicle I could use, not taking up too much space in the back, and I can still drop bombs on people all day. Like that's a cool little vehicle. I would love to see that. Bring that in CIG. This should be not a big task. Bring that in. Battle cruisers. They're talking about bringing a bigger ship than the Bengal. No, I mean it's cool for like I think game purposes, but not for people to have. Like that's ridiculous. Internal libraries, don't really care too much about that. I mean, it's cool to I think with people where with the I think it was the Origin was it the 100s or no, I think it was like the 300 uh ships that they had where you could do all the whole custom interior, custom exterior. Yes, that's super cool. I think it's super nice to be able to do stuff like that. You know me, I'm all about making it yours. So sure, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's cool if they do things like that. I don't know what kind of undertaking that would take, but it's okay. This tab just talked about how the Wolf is not a gold standard. They released it without it having the components that you can see and get to. But they're working on it for the end of the year. So that brings me back to my next question again. So now you're okay with doing that for the ship that you want to put out, but you're not okay with doing that for other ships. Kind of hypocritical. So um it's whatever. Like I said, the Wolf is a cool ship, but I find problems when they're making excuses for one ship and then going around, turning around and being a hypocrite for and allowing it for another ship. So single seaters with big guns. I think that this is again all about trade offs. You can get a lot of power and maneuverability, but your ship's a paper tiger. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the Ares really started that whole trend where they were having size 7 guns on a heavy fighter. I have no problem with this because at the end of the day, they're not god ships. You can destroy them pretty easily if you have the right people and are using the bigger ships more effectively. Sure. So I don't have any problem with this at all. Docking process. I really would love to see this. The docking process happen ship to ship docking. Uh, I think we'll probably see it when they introduce the Legionnaire because that's its whole purpose. That's its gameplay loop, as they would say. So we'll see that whenever they bring that up. But can I just say this? Can we, for the love of God, focus on the the armor lockers? Can we not do that? Like I don't like these things have been in these ships for a decade, and there you can't use them. Can we CIG? Can for the love of God, can we focus on that? Is it really that hard? Like I don't know. I mean, but I would guess after all this time you should have it figured out. That is a part of the ships that will really give people that immersion to be able to have like one thing in the suit locker and then click on it and it swap it out for whatever. So if you have normal clothes on, you have your suit of armor in the locker, click on it, it swaps, your clothes where your clothes are now in the suit locker and your armor's on you. That is important. Can we get to that? Please. Can we get to that? I'm sorry, it's a bitch fest right now because there's a lot of things that I just hear and the things they're doing that really makes no sense. I'm not trying to offend CIG or anyone, but I don't think that makes sense. You know, suit lockers should have been in the game at least by this year. Come on. Um, Restock and repair in hangar bays such as the Idris, the Polaris. I like this concept because basically it's saying you can buy um, ballistic ammo, you can buy um, hydrogen, quantum fuel, have them in the cargo area of your Idris or your Polaris, and whenever you repair and refuel uh, any ship and rearm, it pulls it from there. I think that's a cool idea. So I can't wait for that to happen. And part of this is because for the Ironclad Assault, that's part of its little thing. It has a repair and rearm for the tanks or for the ground vehicles. But they even said as long as the vehicles are small enough to fit in that area, you can do that same thing, rearm and repair those things. So let's go. I'm down with it. I'm down with it. Makes it a lot more immersive. Drone progress, we said, is not coming till base building. Ship logging with friends. This is so they were talking about beds not being in the game really anymore, being added to ships. I think the beds still have a purpose. Uh, and Super Mac was talking about how maybe it'll help your health go up or whatever if you bed log versus just logging out randomly. I think there's still a use for beds, in my opinion. But I do like the fact that you'll be able to log out without a bed because when you have ships with no beds, logging out is a pain because you have to go fly somewhere else, get to safety, and log out either in a station or on a at a spaceport, on a planet like the main place in Lorville or Orison or Microtech or Area Team. So I think this is better because then people can be out there a lot more, and it just makes more sense overall. And the last thing that I missed was yeah, here it is. Where are the G12s? Come on, CIG. Where are the G12s? People want these things. These things are dope looking. Where are the G12s? They've been on the backlog too long. Let's stop playing. The MTC was great, but let's get the G12s in, please. Can we do that? I don't want a lot from you guys. I really don't. But CIG, I need the G12s. I need the ships that are already in game to be brought up to standard. I need all the ones that are backlogged for ridiculous reasons to be released. And just fix the stuff on ships that have been broken for way too long. That's don't worry about the new news. Just let's worry about what was already here. So that's all I got today. So I apologize for the ranting. It's just the way I am. But it's your boy Raptor Spiritus. You guys stay safe out there, and I will see you guys in the verse.